Welcome, everybody, to the Talk Bone podcast. Today, we have some great topics coming at you. Today, on the podcast, we have your host, Bander. We have new and improved Super and myself, Tata.
I love how
We will
the
be.
super in Super Hooligan got cut out.
Yes, it
Oh,
did. It was like
oh,
super hooligan.
real quick, I want to check just to make sure I'm recording by doing a quick like that. Okay, that was just the recording symbol. All right. Yes, that is right. Bander, your host, with my two special guests, as always, Dylan and Joey.
yeah. Okay. Well, anywho, we have a bunch of good topics coming in.
Whatever the latest and greatest internet hotness is for the week. Tell us, Dylan,
Yes.
what is our
And
topics for today? Or first topic.
first topic of the day, we are going to I'd say just because this came out, and I kind of want to save the juiciest thing for the last, which I think we can all agree.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing we
Absolutely fucking a goat is the juiciest thing on that list.
Oh my
the,
gosh.
the first thing we are going to talk about is the newly released Red Dead Redemption game.
Show of hands, who has purchased Red Dead Redemption 2? That would be
Great.
My hand is not up.
Me and me only raising their hand. Who is planning on purchasing Red Dead Redemption 2?
My
Me.
hand is now up.
Okay.
Wait. Well, I plan on renting it.
Raise your hand. You're gonna rent it?
I'll go
Okay.
into explanation
All right. And real quick, who has played more than 5 hours of Red Dead Redemption 2? Show of hands. That would be no one. I played about 3 hours last Friday, and that's all I've been able to have a chance to play.
Well, Alex also has the game as well.
True.
But he is not here.
He's not here today, but
He also
but
said he only played like 20 minutes or so.
right. So that doesn't really do much. But I have seen I have been watching walkthroughs just because I kind of want to see how the game looks and everything, and I'm quite pleased. It looks really cool. My initial opinion looks like there's a lot of things that are tedious.
Definitely. I absolutely 100% agree with you. And I think a lot of people share that same opinion about animations and things just being a little too much.
But I mean, well, what's your opinion on the storyline of what you've been able to play? I mean, storyline alone, how do you like it?
And I'll talk about the very opening of the game. Not really much of spoilers in terms of anything. But you start the game, your gang is kind of in a little bit of peril. Like a mission went wrong, and you're forced to hide away in this old abandoned mining village after fighting off a snowstorm and the police. I don't know if you'd call them police. The law. You're hiding from the law, and there's sort of like an initial gang war that's happening. I haven't really gotten too much into that, but you're in this big snowy area. The story so far has been fairly cinematic. I'm not necessarily sure I would call it as engaging as
That's what I saw too.
as I thought it would be. Because you think about like some of the big titles. Skyrim opens with the big dragon thing. Fallout opens with your family dying, basically. What was it? GTA 5. How did GTA 5 open? GTA 5. Oh, GTA 5.
It opened with you doing the heist.
The big heist, yeah.
Yeah.
This game kind of opens at a crawl, and I know there's like this big train heist that they're prepping up, and there's gonna be all these crazy missions and stuff like that. But I'm just kind of like, I would have preferred something more like, and for lack of a better term, yeehaw, than giddy up.
Right.
Although,
Well,
Is that really how it is?
no,
Just giddy up?
it's just kind of like you're fighting off the snowstorm, but that's I don't know. It's just not as rootin' tootin', lootin' and shootin' as I would like it to be as the opening game. I don't know. I feel like the opening game really needs to sell you it, but I feel like this game kind of opens assuming that you really want to play it versus trying to really hook you into playing it, which to me, as someone who's never played who didn't play Red Dead Redemption 1, having that kind of opening is like, okay, hopefully it picks up more. Whereas like GTA's like starts you off like sprinting, Fallout, Skyrim, all those games are the first of those series that I actually played, and they just get you into it really fast.
Right.
Although granted, Fallout was less of a getting you into the game, more into getting you into just kind of the story. It wasn't really much gameplay. Although I guess you escaping the vault is kind of fun. Anyway, never mind. Dylan, your thoughts? Any more thoughts?
I mean, the only other thing that I can say is the real highlight, especially for Red Dead 1, for me was like online, and like I had a blast. So I can only imagine. I mean, they're obviously, the platform is there of the expect, and I don't see it getting any worse. I can only see it improving. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the online aspect of things when it releases. And I mean, as far as story, I mean, I can't talk too much because I haven't watched probably as much more that you've played. So I can't judge the story too much, but I'm really looking forward to the online.
It's kind of, I mean, a lot of people are talking about controls and stuff being a little like too much. Like there's too many things, there's too many different control options, and there's just not enough buttons. I kind of almost like it because it's kind of a weird challenge, like trying to remember what everything does and being there's so many different things you can do in each situation. It's kind of fun. Also, I was trying to show my friend the detailed horse penis on my horse.
Oh God.
And I crouched down, looked towards its crotchal groin area, and all of a sudden it took a big giant poop. And I was like, damn, that's something right there. That's dedication.
That is detailed. Oh my God.
I will say one thing that I 100% dislike, and this doesn't necessarily have to do with Red Dead itself, but in the Xbox One version. To the point where I actually regret purchasing the Xbox One version. You guys ready for that? This is gonna be a big one.
Let's hear it.
And I'll show you a picture of this right now about my disgust at this, but I'm holding the game case for Red Dead Redemption 2. And if you look at this thing, the Xbox One version, it is hideous. The Xbox screen with the Red Dead Redemption red and yellow, oh my God, it's the most horrible color scheme I've ever seen. There's no way they should have approved this. This is terrible. The PS4 version is at least a nice deep blue, which works way better than this Xbox nuclear green. I'm not saying that the Xbox green is bad, but just the color scheme. Oh, awful. Just awful. Instant regret. That is my biggest critique of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow.
Well, I think Red Dead will take that.
I think they'll take it.
They'll take it and do nothing with it.
I'm excited to get more into it. I'm sure the next time we have a podcast, whenever the hell that will be, I'll have more to say about it. But for now,
well,
initial
speaking
impressions are not as hype as I would have liked.
I think the hype's going to grow.
Sure,
but
absolutely.
We'll see. We can follow up in the following podcasts to come.
Can I do a little like a brief hot topic?
If I say no, it's not going to change anything. You can do a brief hot topic.
Yeah, because you're in charge of this train. I just actually did Target just put on a sale, which is a buy two get one free of games, movies, board games, and books. I think. So
books.
I took advantage of this. What?
Gotta buy those books.
There's lots of good books. There's a Hyrule Historia on sale at Target today. So I picked up 2 games, and my third game, the third game I got was New Super Mario Bros. 2 on 3DS for Haley. She wanted to play that. And I picked up...
It wasn't any game, was it? There was a selection?
It was a selection. Like, you're not gonna be able to pick up Red Dead with that.
Right, obviously, I would assume.
But I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is a really good game that came out just like a month ago, was on it, so that's pretty big. But things were selling out pretty quickly. But I decided to pick up what I thought were what I would like to call your Smash Bros. Ultimate required reading, which was Sonic Mania and Mega Man 11. And I picked these two games in particular because, I mean, it should be no surprise that I pick up a Sonic game. I have Sonic stuffed animals on top of my bookstand right now. But these two specifically are pretty major games. I mean, they're small titles. They were only $30 each. But as far as like their achievements of, you know, taking a franchise that's a little old, it's 20 years old, both of them at least, and franchises that haven't always been good. There's been a lot of times in which both Mega Man and Sonic have been a bit behind on the times and not as strong in their regular releases. Mega Man had been pretty much dead until Smash 4 picked Mega Man up into their roster, and now he's back and better than ever, or maybe not better than ever, but still good. And Sonic
Better than better. He's in a better place.
Yeah, he's in a better place now. And Sonic is very hit or miss depending on which game you're picking up. And Sonic Mania is such a joy to play. It is such an awesome game. The music, the colors, just everything about the level designs. Like, the second level you play is Chemical Plant Zone. And as someone whose very first game is Sonic 2, Chemical Plant Zone is my favorite Sonic level of all time. And you beat the first act, which I got a game over on because I suck. Which is all fine and dandy. You know, it's Chemical Plant Zone. And then the second act comes in, and it's a full-on remix of the track with a bunch of new mechanics. And all those mechanics are awesome. And this game was not even made by the Sonic team. This game was made by a fan team of Sonic fans that Sega allowed to make a Sonic game, which is just awesome. Such a great, crazy idea that I can't believe Sega would actually let people do. And they made a great one. It's so good. And the best part about this game, and I know Dylan had this game, the Sonic Mega Collection, on like PS2 or GameCube.
I did.
In fact, I'm looking at it right now because I still have it. I still have never returned it to you.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you still have it.
Never. Joey, and I'm sure Joey may have picked up something like this at some point and played something like that. Do either of you remember the game Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine?
Yes, I remember us playing that together.
The little puzzle game that's like Puyo Puyo or like Tetris.
Yes.
It's kind of fun, but kind of janky at the same time. It's kind of old too.
Right.
The boss fight in Chemical Plant Zone has you dropping into the end of the level. You drop in, and Sonic's all of a sudden he's in this little strapped into this little chair in front of this little like computer booth, and Eggman appears right next to you in the same computer booth, and I'm like, what's going on? Are they about to have like a game show or something like that? Is that the boss fight? And then the screens open up onto the side and blocks and Puyo and the little Puyo Puyo thing stuff. I'm like, holy shit! They did a boss fight that's literally Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
That was like funny.
That was I looked at Haley. I'm like, that was one of the greatest gaming moments of all time. Taking a fucking spin-off title puzzle game and putting it into a Sonic boss fight is fucking amazing.
I wonder if a lot of people even realized what that was.
Honestly, probably enough to where like they probably had the same reaction as me about how awesome it is. But it's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
It was such a because this game has been out for a long time, at least a year and a half, and I'm so shocked I never knew that actually happened. That was just like an absolute like surprise to me, and I was just like, oh my god. Now I'm wondering if that's actually playable in a separate mode, because that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, great game. The actual new levels that they made are really cool too. Really like jazzy, funky, just Sonic levels, and it's great. Anyway.
And with what Joe was talking about his retro Sonic games, we will go retro again.
Is that a transition, nice sense?
The next retro thing we will be talking about today is PlayStation announcing a classic full lineup of 20 retro games. So what this is there's going to be a 20 pre-game, preloaded onto a console. And this is going to be a $99 retro-looking-ish PlayStation. It looks like it is a bit smaller than the original version, and you will not need a disc for it. It's just going to be like a little preloaded game, and
I like how you say preloaded.
Essentially, take the Nintendo Classic, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and the Super Nintendo, but now it's modeled after the PlayStation 1.
Correct. And I'll read off the list of games. If any of you want to talk about any of these, I guess we can go into further.
For context, this is definitely a direct response to Nintendo's NES Classic and Super Nintendo Classic. The NES Classic launched with 30 NES games for about, I think, $70, maybe $60, and the SNES Classic was 20 classic
it was 80
games for $80.
But wait.
The 20 games on PlayStation Classic for $100. No expandable memory or anything like that, or possible like upgrades or anything like that. It's just 20 games. That's what you get. 2 controllers though, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
But wait.
I've been waiting.
And 2 non-analog or analog stick controllers, which is strange.
Oh yeah, I just realized that they're non-analog stick. Really bizarre.
OG PlayStation controllers.
But there's a big but. The biggest competitor to all of this, for a small fee, with the new Nintendo Live, you can get 20 Nintendo retro games.
I'm still not interested.
Did you say 20?
I just had to plug it. Sorry, it's just the meme now. Okay. Anyways, here's the list of games like PlayStation Classic for $99, launching on December 3rd. Battle Arena, Toshiden, Cool Borders 2, one of my favorites. Destruction Derby.
That's a good one.
Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, Grand Theft Auto 1, Intelligent Cube, Jumping, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphone Filter, Tekken 3, the original Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. Ooh, Wild Arms, I forgot about that.
Ooh, Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal, too. Didn't Twisted Metal have a clown on the front of it?
Yep.
It's like the clown combat racing game.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Joey go first, because I know Joey is probably more interested in this than anyone else.
Okay, well, let's go with this.
I guess
Cool Borders
I am.
2, because you made a little comment. Cool Borders 2.
That was one of my most favorite games to play when I was growing up. It was just fun. The courses were amazing. The characters were all crazy, and
you can't forget about the soundtracks, though. The soundtracks.
Oh hell no, dude!
The soundtracks were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
That's pretty cool too. That they're putting Metal Gear Solid, and they're putting like legit Final Fantasy. Like they're putting like legit titles on here. Rayman was another one of my favorites. Who would have known that a PlayStation Classic Rayman game would turn into a Nintendo? Like, they're doing so much with Rabbids now. Doesn't that just like surprise anyone here?
It's kind of weird just because Rabbids
like a
became
plastic,
like a thing that kind of peeled off of Rayman. Like it
right.
started off as
Yeah,
like
that's
a
what I'm
Rayman
saying.
thing, but then it's like now it's just Rabbids. It's kind of like Skylanders with Spyro.
Yeah.
You're right.
It is. It's kind of weird though, because like now, like if you'd ask a kid like about Rabbids, they would never in a million years know who Rayman.
Well, I mean, Rayman did have some games recently.
Yeah.
Right. But for the most part, I mean, if you tell someone Rabbids, they would not know the affiliation to Rayman.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, do you have any?
Are you guys pretty happy with this list?
I mean, okay, so here's my opinion on it. I think it's a good list. What the only thing I'm surprised that they didn't add, in my honest opinion, is Crash Bandicoot. I felt
I was
like
going to say that too.
That should have been.
I would say that
That should have been on
100%
here.
has to do with the fact that the Insane trilogy is out, doing well, and
Same with Spyro.
Easily the best version, especially same with Spyro.
I know, but it's like but I feel like they could have just thrown those two titles in here just as like a giveaway. You know, it's $100 and you get 20 titles. I just feel like they could just toss them in just to for shit.
Yeah.
Could have been Addison, Activision saying, no, we don't want that on there. We want people buying the new ones that we made.
Right. No, it definitely is a cool list. I'd probably switch a couple of those games out for different ones that I played growing up, but then again, those ones that I played probably weren't the most popular titles, so that's probably why they weren't picked. But it's all good. It's still a good list.
I wouldn't also mind like a retro sports game too, like an old Madden or like an old NBA game.
Dude, like MLB 99 or NHL 99.
Yeah, just throw in like an old retro one when this first came out. Just but hey, 20. You're pretty much paying $5 a game,
Yeah.
which I mean these are all full games, so you can't really complain. Plus, you get a cool little remake of the PlayStation 1. So it's a good deal.
My opinion.
Okay, let's hear it. Wait, hold on, Alex.
As someone who purchased.
And Ruler Alex left the building.
No, I'm still here. Sorry, what?
It can't. We're just gonna move on. As someone who's been very enthusiastic about the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic, I will tell you without a doubt, 100%, that I don't care about this thing.
Wow, what a shocker!
Wow.
Now, something like an N64 Classic would definitely interest me. But once you get to like a
Ooh,
PlayStation
that would be,
Classic,
dude, that would be saucy.
happening next year, promise you. And there'll be a game on there that people wouldn't really expect. That we'll get to later. And the reason why the PS1 Classic doesn't appeal to me, there's I would say two reasons. One, I had a PlayStation 1. I didn't have an NES, an N64, or Super Nintendo, so those ones were kind of like a cool, like, way of kind of bringing that kind of experience into my like collection of video games. A PS1 Classic is just kind of like, I have it. I know exactly where my PS1 is. It's in the closet right up there. I have a PS1 controller on my bookshelf right here with all my PS1 games. And the second reason is let me list to you all of my PS1 games because they're right in front of me. Crash Team Racing, Crash 1, Crash 2, Crash 3, Crash Bash. Rugrats in Paris, Rugrats The Search for
That was a good game.
Sim Theme Park, Triple Play Baseball, Final Fantasy VIII, A Bug's Life, the original
Jesus
PlayStation
Christ.
demo disc, and Cool Borders 3, Fuck 2,
No.
Garbage Game, 3 is where it's at.
No.
So as you can see, there's not a single game on there that I actually have. And I know I said Final Fantasy VIII. I actually never really played it. I think my sister played it. And I have 7 on like 3 other things, so I don't really care about 7. Honestly, none of these games really speak to me. I'm sure I have... Actually, no, I have Metal Gear Solid. Joey gave that to me.
I did?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't even remember that. Oh, you know what? Yes, I do.
So
It's kind of like how I gave him that Sonic game that he never returned to me too.
No, but I did give him this. I remember because my PlayStation 2 broke down. I was like, I'm never going to play a PlayStation game again in my life. Here, have these.
I think I actually do.
Classic. And
I think I actually
first
do.
of all, Dylan,
I
just borrowed
I'm
the
just
Sonic
making- I'm
game,
just make-
and
I'm
you
just making a
borrowed
joke.
my Crash game, and you never gave me that Crash game back. So let's see that Crash game. I know where
It's
the
in my
Sonic
garage.
game is.
It's in my garage somewhere.
Oofa.
Calling each other out.
Attention. Shots have
Anyways,
been fired.
we need to move on with this podcast.
Okay, let me
With
let
that-
me
with
throw out some final thoughts. This is definitely something that I know appeals to plenty of other people, but for someone who wasn't super into the games that are on here, I feel that there are better versions, or at least alternative versions to play these games elsewhere. And I feel like PlayStation, once you get to the PlayStation and N64, if you're really not into that style of game, it starts to get to the point where you're like, this is a little too jank and a little too kind of in that territory where 3D games weren't as well optimized as they could have been. We're getting to like the PS2 kind of era. So this is the kind of thing where I'm like, I don't know if I'd ever want to play the original Resident Evil or Metal Gear Solid or Twisted Metal or any of these names. First off, I know people want Twisted Metal 2, not Twisted Metal 1.
Oh God.
And some of these like old stuff, it's just
You
they're
can't
kind of
be
jank
finicky about
now.
this stuff, man.
They don't really work in today's standards. Whereas like the
They
NES
should.
stuff and the Super Nintendo stuff are kind of, well, NES not so much, but Super Nintendo stuff is like, those are like timeless classics. Those will never like be too old to play.
Right. All right. Well.
Hey guys, this is Aaron from Fun Course.
All right. Well, someone has some audio in the background that we can hear. Anyways,
Wow.
the last quick thing before we get on the final topic. This is just going to be a quick little rally. I guess we can call it a little speed discussion. Now,
Wait,
I'm
we're
talking
really
about
closing with fucking a goat.
yes.
Oh God. Okay.
With the holiday season coming up, is there anything that you guys have your mind on, or your eye on, tech-wise, coming up for this holiday season? For me personally, I am potentially looking to purchase a gaming rig and a Nintendo Switch.
Ooh. For me, I would like a better TV. I'm kind of debating whether or not I want to like invest in a 4K TV or kind of like chill out for a bit. I don't need it. I also need a big wok pan because I want to cook bigger stir fries.
We're talking
These are the
about tech.
important things, folks.
And that is tech. You know how much special metal is in those things? One
Like
could even say
8
twisted
cents.
metal.
Oh God.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
And I think as far as like the games that are coming out, Odyssey is a big one. I would love to pick up God of War on sale as well. Other than
Oh,
that,
when you
it's
said
cool.
Odyssey for a second, I pictured Mario Odyssey. I was like, you have it.
I want a second copy, obviously.
No! Don't be dumb like me.
Joey, your holiday list?
I mean, really, my holiday list is small. I really don't have a need for anything. I'm looking forward to the new Spyro Reignited
that too, hell
trilogy.
yeah.
Smash Bros is coming. It's small for me. I really have no wants nor needs right now.
Joey is 100% satisfied.
I am. I got my PlayStation 4. I'm happy. I'm a happy boy.
Alex, what tech do you want for this holiday season?
I was thinking maybe another monitor. I've been thinking of getting like a dual monitor set up for my PC.
Alex wants to finally achieve the ability to like kind of, you know how your chair can kind of go up and down when you press the
Yeah.
button? He wants to be able to like press it and like ascend into like a ring of monitors. Full 360.
Absolutely.
He just like sits down and it's like, "Welcome, Alex."
Welcome.
Professor Dr. Alex.
Welcome, ruler Alex. Do, 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 do.
All these screens just like circle him, and he just puts on like this headset, and he just goes into like Tron.
Oh, God.
That made me think of like if Alex had like a custom Xbox that when you turned it on it goes do 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 do, and then it made me think of the Taco Bell Xbox that just came out that has the dong when you turn it on.
Oh God.
That's pretty great.
Okay, well, the final and most antsy topic for Joseph here.
You have no idea.
I don't even want to get into this. I think he should be the one to introduce this. This past week he has been known as the Illuminati, the multiple things we've been calling him in our chat. He has been freaking out over this and going into the deepest lore, and I don't even know what you want to call, but with further ado, he is going to introduce our final topic of the night.
You all know where this is going. If you followed our channel for any bit, you know that where we are going, because we here at Team Needabone are avid Illumination fans, and the Grinch movie is coming next month, and I am very excited. Benedict Cumberbatch is gonna kill it. It's gonna be the greatest title this holiday season. Are you all ready for the Grinch?
Oh, fuck off.
What if I told you that the Grinch is responsible for what could be the greatest Smash Bros. Newcomer list of all time? Would that entice you at all?
What if it's not, though?
Could be. No one.
Please tell us more.
All right. So unless you've been living under a rock for this last week, you must know about
God.
the Grinch leak. Recently on the interwebs, a picture surfaced on 4chan that was traced back to a Discord channel and to a Snapchat video of what appears to be the final roster for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Why is it the roster? Because it appears the entire artwork banner that is appearing on the Smash Bros. Website in its full was shown. In context, the banner was shown in what appears to be promotional production materials at a printing press company of some sorts, with cutouts and other various things that you can see in the photo that make it seem like it's actually in a real production printing promotional company of some sorts. Furthermore, within this banner picture are other little details of more than just one copy of the banner, as well as blank pictures of the banner's background, as well as other things and things that make it look very real as to what we're actually looking at. The banner itself contains 7, possibly 8, new characters that have not been seen before or talked about. But we'll get into that in a little bit later. I want to talk to you about the other piece of this puzzle that is also one of the other pieces in the puzzle that is also there. There's a lot going on in this picture. Every day I go back onto the interwebs and someone has found something new that's happening with this crazy picture. Like, just the other day, someone kind of finally put together that all the little like guides and stuff that they were looking at is instruction materials for how to set up the banner into whatever it's supposed to be, which I believe is like a lighting fixture of some sort that you would see like wrapped around kind of like a mobile thing that you would look up and you see all the whole thing. And that it looks very simplified and like a dummy would be able to put it together, because that's how it looks in actual industry standard and stuff like that. I'm not the most qualified person to talk about the actual intricacies of the picture, but what I can talk about is the picture of the Grinch that's also in there. Now, these pictures, concept art for the Grinch, that are seen alongside the Smash Bros. League are never before seen promotional material, or possibly seen, but regardless, it doesn't matter. It's promotional material alongside the Grinch, which experts have seen and noted that have cutouts and ink markings that only someone who really knew the industry would know to put there if it was fake. That is why we dubbed this leak How the Grinch Stole Smashmas, the Grinch Leak. Now, furthermore in the picture, there is a receipt that is in French, which contains the blurred out, but not too blurred out, name of one Eric. Crap.
Don't call him out as well. Don't call.
Why not? Everyone knows this person, Eric.
I know, but you don't want to be the dude that's putting him on blast. Just Eric.
No, literally the entire world is doing this. It's fine. His name was appeared on a receipt, and people have traced the name back to none other than a LinkedIn profile, which lists the person is a graphic designer for a promotional production company. Now, there were 2 companies listed. One he no longer works for that confirmed he no longer works there, and that company is not working on the Smash Bros. Stuff. The other company has not responded, but has deleted a video that linked clues to the leak being legitimate. Very suspicious. And the person in question does, in fact, work at that company. The first company was not actually part of it. So, if you want to look into more, I'm sure you can find the Reddit threads and all the conspiracy theories going on. There's crazy things to look into, so much things going on, but we don't have a lot of time for that. We must discuss the characters that have been put into this list. And I know, Dylan, you are keeper of the list, but allow me to take the wheel for one moment and tell you the characters.
Bander, take the wheel. Okay,
Banner take
go.
the wheel. Starting off with the two Echo Fighters, or presumably Echo Fighters, that we see in this list. Shadow the Hedgehog, I feel, is a more obvious choice. I don't think anyone is too shocked that you see Shadow the Hedgehog here. But nonetheless, I'm excited to have another Sonic character, as a big Sonic fan myself. Shadow the Hedgehog was not playable in the new Sonic Mania game, but that is okay. One such myself would also say that Eggman should be the one playable and not Shadow the Hedgehog, but I understand that Eggman would be a lot more difficult to put in than Shadow the Hedgehog, and that anyone who says Tails should be put in before Eggman is not a true Sonic fan. Just saying. Ken from Street Fighter. I think we have multiple instances of people saying Ken is fat. In fact, a picture of Ken in the game has surfaced a couple months ago, but has not been proven false. So as such, we can mostly determine that it is real. Doesn't surprise too much. Not as exciting as some of the other options here. We have the one and only Mach Rider. Dylan, your thoughts on Mach Rider?
Interesting thoughts.
Oh shoot, is Dylan muted? Oh, Dylan muted himself. Joey, your thoughts
Wow.
on Mach Rider?
I feel like it's going to be amazing. I think that he's going to be a dynamic factor in the game. My brain was not working there. Holy crap.
What do you think? Do you think he's going to be riding his motorcycle, or is he going to be on his feet? Maybe the motorcycle's part of his moveset. What do you think we're going to see?
I think he's going to have a similar side B attack, special attack to Wario's motorcycle.
I feel so too. I think that's the right way to go. And it's also something I think Shadow might have as well, which would be interesting.
Or maybe they should just make him fully riding the motorcycle and just ride around the stage like that.
I don't know if that would work 100%, and I don't know if it needs to, but I think some sort of mix between Captain Falcon, Wario, and Bowser Jr., in which he can be riding the motorcycle for a lot of his moveset, but he doesn't necessarily have to be on the motorcycle the entire time. Like, let's say a lot of his special moves involve the motorcycle, and maybe a couple of smash attacks and stuff like that, but maybe his aerials and his tilt moves and his grabs don't necessarily revolve around the motorcycle. So in fact, he's Bowser Jr. because he's riding, like the clown car style kind of thing, a lot of it, but he can move around by himself. And
right.
Captain Falcon was not a character before Smash Bros. He was just a rider in a car. There wasn't really anything about him. But once he was put into Smash Bros., they gave him a moveset and the kind of moves, which I have no doubt Sakurai could do again.
Right.
Mach Rider. Next, the oh-so-lovable trio, the Chorus Kids from Rhythm Heaven, along with their conductor. A character that was... Oh, by the way, Mach Rider was actually originally planned to be in Melee, but was cut due to technological budget timing, something like along those lines. Chorus Kids is a very similar situation of a character that was rumored in a leak of Smash Bros. 4 called the Gematsu leak. The Gematsu leak stated a handful of characters that would be in Smash Bros. I think including Greninja, Pac-Man, Wii Fit Trainer, Chrom, and Chorus Kids. Maybe a couple other things. I'm not really 100% sure. Obviously, most of those characters eventually got into the game, except for Chrom and Chorus Kids, but Chrom is now in the game. We understood why Chrom wasn't put into the game because they decided to go with Robin instead. So clearly the Gematsu leak was based on prior information that no longer was relevant. So the Chorus Kids were cut, very likely due to the 3DS limitations, similar to how Ice Climbers were cut from the game. Ice Climbers are back, Pokemon Trainers back. No doubt, Chorus Kids can now work. Now they're from Rhythm Heaven, a game based on rhythm-based movements and action things. So my assumption would be is that they have attacks where you have to do a lot of rhythmic timing in order to deal the most damage. Dylan, your thoughts?
A1.
A1?
Sounds good.
Joey? Have you ever played
I'm just letting you go.
Joey, you ever played a game?
No, I have not.
It's like a classic like DS tapping game. People really like the series, but
so it's like Donkey Kong's old Final Smash.
Yeah, kind of in a way. The only thing that I've actually been able to think of is that you kind of control the conductor, and kind of similar to Olimar in a way, where if you if you tap A, one course kit will pop up and do like an attack. But if you tap it in rhythm, like you'll have all 3 course kits like attack, and it'll be more powerful. And
That'd be cool.
there has to be some sort of thing with his specials that make doing a proper rhythmic input of the special move button that'll create more damage or something like that. I think that would actually be a really cool idea for a fighter. Next, a big one, the Isaac from Golden Sun. Now, you may not have heard of Isaac or Golden Sun in the game, but let me tell you, it is one of the most requested characters and franchises to be represented in Smash Bros. In Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Isaac was an assist trophy and was removed in Smash 4 with no trace of why or how. Now,
Really?
Smash Ultimate being a big fan game, people wonder, can Isaac actually get into this game? I have a theory that not a lot of people really bring up, in that Isaac was planned to be in Smash 4, but was scrapped due to more important characters, not important characters, that's a bad way to put it, more higher priority characters needing to be put into the game, and as such, Isaac was not able to make it in the game and wasn't able to be put back into the game as an assist trophy. Because to me, it seems very strange that a popular enough character to warrant an assist trophy, would be taken out and not put back in. And the fact that Little Mac, Charizard, now Isabelle, and Ridley, and who's the other guy? Dark Samus.
Samuel? Oh, yeah.
Dark Samus are now in the game as official characters, no longer just items or bosses. I had my doubts that Isaac was taken out for more than just a regular character. Now, Isaac is a little bit more interesting, aside from the fact that he is more of like a minor Nintendo franchise, but one that still warrants being represented in Smash Bros. People have been speculating that the reason why the last Nintendo Direct, the one featuring Luigi's Mansion and Isabelle, felt a little bit off in terms of the amount of content for Smash Bros. That was displayed in the actual Direct itself. Now, their Direct was delayed due to the earthquake that happened in Japan, delayed 1 week, and was stated by Sakurai that the Direct had to be altered due to the events of the earthquake. Now, one can assume that there's a reason why things had to be altered, because the original idea was that the Direct had to be delayed because it wouldn't really be feel right doing some sort of big celebratory event when a big natural disaster has come. And obviously, condolences to the families in Japan that were affected. I actually have family in Japan. They were all fine. They live in the central, southern, eastern side of Japan, and not near the Hokkaido northern area where the earthquake was really affecting. One would assume that that's the only reason why they needed to delay it, but only for a couple days. But they delayed it a whole week and said that they needed to change some things. Now, why would they need to change some things if not for something being of bad taste to be in a Direct after a major earthquake? Now, Isaac, as a character, has a couple signature moves, one of which is called Earthquake. No doubt that a trailer featuring Isaac, as well as his moveset, would heavily feature earthquakes. The original opening cutscene in Golden Sun features a massive earthquake that actually kills a lot of Isaac's family. At least that's what I've been told. I haven't actually looked at the cutscene myself, but that's what a Redditor said when discussing Isaac. No doubt that had Isaac originally planned to be in that trailer, it would have been featuring earthquakes. And no doubt that that's the reason why they had... well, obviously there's doubt, but it's a good argument, too, as why they needed to cut out part of the Direct. And would also explain why we haven't had a whole lot of content recently, and why there's so many characters still left to be revealed with only 1 month left until the game is launched. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the earthquake delay?
I don't know too much about it to get
Way too into all these conspiracies.
It goes
I
down.
think you're kooking out, dude. I think you just need to chill and just let it happen.
You need some sleep.
Do you think that actually could be a real thing?
It could be.
I think there's a lot of factors that would have to make it a thing. I think you're just overanalyzing everything, which it's easy to do, especially when you're into something so hard.
Most
I
of the
mean, I'm
stuff,
not saying you're
most of the
wrong,
stuff that
but
I've talked about here are more like concrete things that have actually happened. The earthquake thing is obviously speculation, but not Nintendo. Japan has
You're
precedence
speculating the earthquake that happened in Japan? How dare you?
there's precedence for Japan delaying things and events
Joe,
due to earthquakes and stuff like that. Most notably,
Joe,
there's an episode of
maybe,
Pokemon.
maybe, maybe, maybe Nintendo created the earthquake. Maybe this entire thing is just going on to the next level. Maybe they just needed some more time to release the final characters, so Nintendo created an earthquake.
Can you show us some respect for the victims of the earthquake, please? Thank you. There was an episode of Pokemon that was never released, as far as I know, that heavily featured a fissure move being done by, I think, Tauros? I think that was the episode where
Tauros.
Ash caught all the Tauros. Because you remember back in the day in Pokemon where all of a sudden Ash had like 40 Tauros and no one knew why?
Yep. Yep.
It's because that episode featured a big earthquake move, a fissure actually, and was supposed to air right before a big earthquake happened in Japan, and so the episode was never aired. And that's why Ash all of a sudden had a bunch of Tauros, and we never knew why. So there's precedent for Japan specifically delaying, in fact, removing things from release due to earthquakes, stuff like that. That being one example. There was another game that had a lot of gameplay featuring earthquakes that happened during a big earthquake that I believe was delayed heavily, and as such didn't do as well because of it. So delaying information and removing Isaac's presence from the direct as a trailer character does make sense in the context that was given. We have had no information about Smash Bros for about a month and a half now, and with the leak is seemingly true, it would make sense as to why there hasn't been a whole lot going on. The next character from the critically and cult classic.
Just to note, you are going over the time limit that we've set.
Apologies. I will speed it up a bit. Geno from Super Mario RPG, a fan favorite cult classic character that people have been dying to bring back into the spotlight of video game acclaim. He's a character that has not been seen in a very long time, owned by Square Enix, difficult character to grab, but was a Mii costume in the last Smash Bros. Game, and Sakurai has spoken of wanting him to be in this game. No doubt, he would be a big hit with the Smash Bros. Hardcore fan base. Geno, the puppet, is also featured in this league. Lastly,
Yay, Geno! Go, Geno!
before we get into the big guns of the leak, the big character, I want to point out that I am one of the believers that is in fact Skull Kid underneath Mach Rider's bike. I believe that there's no possible way that that is the wheel of the bike. The wheel is clearly turned and behind that, and that is clearly Skull Kid there. Not clearly, but I think it is. He's
Clear enough.
It's definitely a position and pose that Skull Kid would warrant being in, kind of tucked away in the shadows, sitting down, kind of not really interacting with anything else, kind of all creepy and quiet. It's very Skull Kid-like. Banjo and Kazooie, the famed rare character snatched away by the evil Microsoft back in the early 2000s, locked away, never to be seen again until the infamous Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and then locked away for another 10 years. Could it be that Banjo-Kazooie make their dramatic return in Smash Bros., finally reuniting with his Nintendo brethren? Would Microsoft allow that kind of thing? Maybe. Perhaps. Could it be N64 Classic, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo and Smash Bros., all to promote what could be a new Banjo game? Rare recently released Sea of Thieves, a big production from them, as well as talks about and a trailer for a new Battletoads game. So we know that Microsoft is willing to be using these old IPs. We know that there's a lot of desire for a new Banjo game, and we know Microsoft recognizes that Banjo exists because there's been lots of shirts worn at E3s. Lots of blazers and t-shirts and shots taken as a result of those graphic tees and blazers. Perhaps at the new Microsoft event that's happening early November, a couple weeks from now, maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe.
Ooh.
Banjo-Kazooie. Could it be the dramatic return of the fan favorite Bear and Bird? would be absolutely insane.
Let's talk about it.
We'll have to talk about it some other time because we must wrap up. Before I leave you with my great leak discussion, a couple more points. One, there is a lot of talks between some quote-unquote insiders with information regarding the game that say that Incineroar, the Pokemon, needs to be in this game and is in this game. We're not really sure what's going on. We can only wait for the actual official releases to come out. It's only a month. Everyone can wait. I know you can. You're patient people. But there is basically a civil war going on between the Smash Bros. Community, Team Real and Team Fake, Team Grinch Leak and Team Incineroar. Who is correct? Who is wrong? I don't know. Maybe everyone's correct. Who knows?
Maybe
Bottom
everyone's
line is,
wrong.
Everyone be nice to each other. Everyone be positive. Everyone show some respect. And above all, if this league is right, and if Incineroar is in this game, this will be the greatest Smash Bros. Game ever, the best newcomer list of all time, and the true ultimate edition of Super Smash Bros. Masahiro Sakurai has undoubtedly outdone himself. No question about that. The game is only a month away, guys.
Joe. Well spoke.
1 month away. Can you believe it? I can't take it anymore. Give me
And
the
with
game.
that mind-losing rant, we are going to call it a close,
Thank you all
folks.
for watching.
Joe is officially.
Thank you for watching. We love you all.
Good night. We love you
Okay.
all.
You might not want to come back, but if
But
you
do come back. It'll get better.
Give us a
It
like,
always gets
comment,
The Red Dead
subscribe.
Redemption 2 game case looks like green eggs and ham. It's a sign.
better.
Joe's completely lost it.
It looks like green eggs and ham.
Yeah, he's definitely lost it. With that being said, folks, hashtag Save Joe in the comments will be very much appreciated.
Real quick, just to break character just for a moment. This has been one of the funnest, most fun weeks of Smash speculation in the history of the game. It's been like I've never been more excited to like check the forums just to see what's happening because everyone's going insane. Everyone's like going crazy. People are slinging venom and vitriol attacks at each other, and I'm just sitting here and I'm like, woo, popcorn. It's great. Everyone be nice to each other, please. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Joe, you